You know that moment when you feel like you're watching a masterclass in chaos unfolding right in front of you? That's exactly what went down at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Two of Formula One's biggest stars, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, weren't just frustrated, they were absolutely fuming. Not because of a lack of pace, not because of a mechanical failure, but because of their own team. The team radio, which should have been their lifeline on a tense Sunday, turned into an open stage for live criticism. And this wasn't some rookie tantrum. These were the voices of proven champions who knew exactly what they were doing, and felt nobody on the pit wall was actually listening. Hungary was supposed to be Ferrari's big comeback, the so-called grand reset that every tifoso had been dreaming of. After a first half of the season riddled with strategic blunders, upgrades that fell flat, and growing tension back in Maranello, it finally looked like things might turn around. And, to be fair, Saturday was brilliant. Leclerc delivered an absolute blinder in qualifying, snatching pole from the likes of Verstappen, Norris, and Russell. The paddock was buzzing. That scarlet Ferrari was back on top, and the fans dared to believe again. But if Formula One teaches us anything, it's that hope is fragile. And when the lights went out in Budapest, the dreams started slipping away. The start was steady enough. Leclerc kept the lead, but the gap was paper-thin, with the McLarens and Red Bulls lurking menacingly in his mirrors. This was the perfect moment for Ferrari to act decisively, build a cushion, control the race, dictate the pace. Instead, they stood still. Lap after lap, the chance to pull away just evaporated. Then came the first blunder, a pit stop called far too late, while rivals undercut their way into contention. By then, Leclerc's tyres were shot, the grip gone, and when he finally pitted, he was thrown straight into the thick of the fight. Over the radio, you could hear the frustration boiling over, "We're going to lose this race like this." While Leclerc's race unraveled quickly, Hamilton was facing a different kind of nightmare, one that was just as maddening. Starting from P12, the seven-time world champion needed boldness, an early stop, an aggressive tyre call, something to shake up the order. But instead, what did he get? Silence. No daring moves, no gamble to try and change his fate. Lap after lap, he sat stuck in traffic, watching slower cars slip away ahead. And when he finally spoke on the radio, it wasn't shouted, it was muttered in resignation, "Bit of a sitting duck here." For a man used to fighting for wins, it sounded less like strategy and more like surrender. For those watching on TV, it looked bad enough. But for anyone who heard the full radio feeds, it was gut-wrenching. There was no sugarcoating, no coded messages, just raw frustration, live and unfiltered. Leclerc's voice cracked as he said he'd have managed things differently. Hamilton sounded like a man completely left out of the plan, abandoned to fend for himself in the midfield mess. This wasn't just poor communication, this was trust collapsing in real time. And in Formula One, when the bond between driver and team fractures, everything else starts to fall apart. Leclerc had track position, and everyone knows overtaking in Hungary is almost impossible. The textbook move. Cover the undercut, open the gap, keep control of the race. But Ferrari did the opposite. They left the Monegasque out on worn tyres, watched the rivals make their moves, and when he finally boxed, it was far too late. He rejoined behind cars he should have been controlling. To make matters worse, the tyre choice was painfully conservative, as if they were terrified of making the wrong call, only for that to become the wrong call. Every decision came a lap too late, and every lap cost dearly. After the checkered flag, Leclerc didn't hold back. Over the radio, he dropped something that felt more like a warning than criticism: "We need to discuss these things before doing them." He wasn't just questioning execution, he was wondering if the pre-race plan had even been followed. And that's serious. When a driver starts doubting whether his team is on the same page, the issue isn't just speed anymore, it's structure. And right now, it feels like Ferrari's structure is slowly falling apart, piece by piece. Hamilton didn't escape the mess either. He didn't join Ferrari to spend his Sundays scrapping in the midfield. He came to build a legacy and restore the most iconic team in motorsport to the top. But after Hungary, you can't help but wonder if that top is even within reach. The radio silence, the short, clipped answers, the body language in the paddock, it all screamed disillusionment. Hamilton is used to being heard, to being central to the strategy calls, and in Budapest he wasn't just left behind on track, he was forgotten. Leclerc has endured more heartache in red than most drivers suffer in their entire careers. Botched pit stops, mechanical failures, strategy errors that have thrown away victories. And Hungary was the perfect storm of all of it in one race. He did everything right, nailed pole, managed the pace, stuck to the plan, and still the team found a way to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. What's at stake now isn't just points, it's trust. And when two champions start doubting the very people meant to guide them, you don't just lose a race, you lose the direction of the entire project. Ferrari promised a fresh start, but they might just have sparked a revolution.